Unifor President Jerry Diaz said in Washington yesterday that Ottawa and the U.S. need to work with his union to put pressure on General Motors to reverse its decision to shut down its Oshawa assembly plant and 4 plants in the U.S.
We understand there's a transformation in the industry, but we also know that they can build all of these vehicles in Canada. It's a question of choices, and they have made decision after decision after decision to put all of the manufacturing in Mexico. So it's time now that Canada and the United States joined together. We drew a line in the sand and we said to General Motors, okay, enough is enough. You're going to have to reverse this decision, or we're going to have to take collective action as 2 nations against General Motors.
Do you think there's a chance these cuts could in fact jeopardize the new NAFTA?
Well, of course it can. I mean, the premise behind the new NAFTA was to fix the problems with the auto industry. That's what started it all. Donald Trump on the campaign trail, drove through the shuttered auto plants in the Rust Belt and said this is a result of the low wages in Mexico. So it's clear what started the entire debate in the first place about the renegotiation. So by announcing layoffs in the United States, announcing layoffs in Canada, and doing absolutely nothing in Mexico, just reinforces what we already knew. General Motors has no intent of elevating the footprint in Canada and the United States. This is a huge problem. We need to deal with it today.
Alberta Premier Rachel Notley says the province will buy new rail cars to transport its oil to market while new pipeline plans remain stalled. Notley says the economy cannot sustain oil prices that are near record lows.
Are you not concerned about a rail capacity crunch for when you're adding 1,000 oil cars to the line?
We definitely know that is the issue. So we're talking about buying and building and contracting new ones. That's what we're looking at as we talk about this. And we've been in very detailed conversations with both CN and CP as we go forward. And obviously we understand that moving agricultural products is a priority, and we're certainly not suggesting that issue be lost. But going forward, as we deal with the delays that we are seeing on pipelines, we cannot sustain, and the economy cannot sustain, and I'm not just talking about Alberta's economy, I am definitively talking about the Canadian economy. We cannot sustain a $10 a barrel price for Western Canadian Select, and that is not going to be remedied until we get back to at least pipeline economics, rail economics. I mean, pipeline economics is what we actually need in the long term for the best outcome for our economy, but if we can even get back to rail economics, we'll be in a better position.
Evacuation orders could be lifted in the fire-devastated town of Paradise in Northern California next week. Crews are facing a massive task as they try to restore power and other services.
We have about 3,000 employees, contractors, and mutual assistant utility workers. We are in the rebuilding phase. We've restored many customers, especially around the fringes of the fire area, and we are working closely with town officials on prioritizing repowering key buildings within the town of Paradise.
There are some little pockets. I think I've counted maybe 40 or 50 buildings that are still standing.
Our inventory has essentially burned down, at least 95% of it. Now, with the inventory in the position that it is, burned to the ground and having to rebuild, the stigma of this town, as you can see, of burning down and the risks of burning down are now here.
Over 50 volunteers showed their Christmas spirit yesterday in the Sears building at the Station Mall to help out with this year's Christmas Cheer. Christmas Cheer, which has been going on since the 60s, is an event held every year that collects toys and canned goods for over 1,600 families in need in our area.
That we're making a difference, and we're helping people that need a hand up, and it's a community effort. Not only are the people working here, but we have all the people that donate, whether it be monetary donations or gifts of toys or canned goods. And so we're working here on behalf of our community because a lot of people make this happen, because it takes quite a bit of money, and it also takes a lot of power here, and people donate themselves for 6 weeks to make this happen. Some come in for a day or two, some come in every day from the beginning of the time we open in the middle of November till our delivery day.
It's good, and we always tell them that on the 20th, when we pack the dinners, that there is a huge amount of people here. We have no idea how many come. It's a few hundred, and it's crowded. But there again, a lot of them are the same people that do come back and do it. And it's very interesting. I think if anyone wanted to drop in and just see what does go on here, and then you see at the beginning we start with an empty building, and then we kind of grow, and then you come in at the end and you see everything that's been done. And then you see what we call the organized chaos on the 20th.
The Sault Ste. Marie Economic Development Corporation is hiring a new director of travel and tourism development. Overseeing the organization's Tourism Sault Ste. Marie division, the senior management position is responsible for the growth of travel and tourism, product development, convention business segments, sports tournaments, festivals and events, and for creating and executing effective marketing strategies. The deadline to apply is Friday, December 14th at 4 o'clock.